jibing within the 3 boat length circle. When you tack inside the 3 boat length circle at the windward mark, and unless you have room and that person's not coming in a close hauled course, you don't really have any rights. But if you are on the downward mark, you can jibe, because it is if you're on starboard, it's going to be necessary in order for you to round that mark and continue sailing on your proper course. So that might involve 2 boats, say, are both coming on starboard. They've been sailing all the way downwind together, and this guy has established room because he's overlapped over the outside boat. Now as they enter the circle, this guy goes, I have room on you, to notify the other competitor of his intentions to take room. And this boat can jibe in order to make that mark. And this guy's going to fall right around. Now, if you hit a mark, as we've previously discussed, that means you incur a penalty, so you have to do a 360. Just because you have room on another individual, as you're approaching the mark, and you hit the mark, you still incur that penalty, and you still have to do it. So, maintain proper course is important. Yeah. Okay. So, now we've talked about that sort of things. Where can we use this in the race course? We've sort of discussed some of them during our little demonstration here, but this rule is particularly important. You can gain a lot of boats when coming into a lured rounding with many people. So if you know the inside boat is going to gain room over anyone on the outside, if you're sailing downwind, which way do you think you prefer to sail, inside or to the outside?
Inside.
Yeah. So that makes sense because once you reach the 3 boat length circle, you have an advantage over everyone else. Now why it's 3 boat lengths was recently modified from 2 to 3 to establish a greater zone. Yeah, so yeah, if you're coming down, you're going to want to be more on the inside. Now say you see this situation arise, where there's 3 boats all heading towards this mark. Everyone's overlapped. Which boat has the right of way?
Inside?
Yes, the inside boat has right of way over both of these guys. So who does this boat have any room?
Oh, the other guy.
Yeah, so he has room on this guy. So if there's more people, it would line up that way. So they have room on everyone to their right. So as they're approaching the mark, they have to give adequate space to the inside individual in order to round the mark. Now, if you are this guy and you recognize the situation arising, what do you think you might do?
Go behind them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're going to try to get behind these guys, because when you round the mark and you're on your third person to the outside, yeah. So when you're the third person to the outside, you're losing out on a lot of distance around that mark. So in the end, when other people come behind you, they're going to be right behind, and they're going to be losing less distance, so they're actually going to be passing you. So, as Stefan previously mentioned, if you recognize this situation arising, a tactical decision would be to go inside and wait behind them. Even though you don't have room on these 2 guys, you didn't have it before, but you're in a better situation over this individual because you're not moving out of the way. In really good fleets, no matter how many boats are lined up, each boat will actually recognize that situation and fall in line behind it, and it'll just create a huge chain, which is pretty cool. But in more amateur fleets, you're going to find lots of these things called pinwheels, and you can take huge advantage because if you see 4 or 5 boats lying out the side, And here, what you can do is work your way in,
Yeah.
and then you just pass 5 boats in one rounding, which is pretty good. Yeah. So, all right. So let's review. All right. So, when does Rule 18 apply?
When
What-
rounding the mark.
Yeah. So when 2 boats are approaching a mark and they need to go around it, and at least one of them is in this 3 boat length zone. Now, giving mark room. Oops. So, when you have to give room at the mark.
Mm-hmm.
Overlap.
Yeah, when you're overlapped and you're the outside boat. So, clear ahead and clear stern, we've really gone over those. So, is this clear ahead or clear stern?
Yes, clear ahead.
Yes.
That's right. Is clear stern the same as overlap?
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
Or, yeah, actually, this guy's clear stern, this guy's clear
Yeah.
ahead.
So the,
Oh.
So yeah, it's this.
so yes was right.
Yes, yes, was right actually. Yeah. So, what is the reasonable doubt clause in the rules?
Presumed do not overlap.
Yeah. So it's presumed that the overlap was not established or it was not broken before the 2 boat length circle. So that's really important when you're sailing because that's going to be a huge arguing point. So, tacking and jibing. If 2 boats are approaching, the windward mark on opposite tacks, and the starboard boat is on the ley line, and it's entered the circle, what can this boat do?
Duck behind it.
Yeah, deck behind it, tack over, and line up and lay that mark.
Yeah.
Because what can't he do? He can't
Cut them off.
come off, and if he's already on close haul, then he can't push them any higher. And what is the result if he tacked below him?
Well, you hit the mark.
Yeah, he'd hit the mark, and he'd have to do a 360, or he'd be pinned at this mark and wouldn't be able to go anywhere. So if there's a line of boats coming, he's stuck. Now, if, say, the starboard boat is well above the mark, well above the ley line, and the port boat's approaching, and they're both inside the circle, what can the port boat do?
Push him to close haul.
Yeah, so when he tacks, he can only push them, or tacking, after your tack, you can't push them higher than close haul. So during your tack, you have no rights, but after your tack, you can't push them that high. Now, is jibing acceptable when you're approaching the leeward mark inside the zone?